Because sometimes, in just 3 seconds, a casual conversation can turn into a global discussion that makes millions of people stop and ask, what is really happening behind the scenes of BTS in March 2026? There is no big concert, no spectacular stage, just a casual conversation that suddenly opens another side of the 7 men who for more than a decade have changed the face of world music. And in the middle of all those stories, one name once again captures the world attention: Kim Taehyung. Why do the members say he is the one who most often sends the most honest moments in their group chat? Why did one simple answer about togetherness make so many people pause? And why does this light conversation actually signal that a new chapter of BTS may have already begun? So before we go deeper into the story and surprise many fans, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and activate the bell notification, because every support you give helps this channel continue spreading stories that are rarely discussed by major media. And don't forget to make this video go viral, so the world will always see the kindness, sincerity, and extraordinary influence of Kim Taehyung. Now, let's enter a conversation that looks simple, but actually holds a story far bigger than we imagined. Because sometimes, in just 3 seconds, a casual conversation can turn into a global discussion. In March 2026, the world once again paid attention to the 7 men who for more than a decade have changed the face of the global music industry. There was no big stage, no spectacular concert, just a relaxed conversation as the members of BTS answered various questions circulating on the internet. Yet from that simple moment emerged many stories that reveal another side of them, not only as global superstars, but also as friends who continue walking together through a long journey full of change. The conversation began with a light atmosphere. The members sat together while exploring various questions that appeared online. They talked about many things, from daily life to their future plans as a group. But one question immediately changed the atmosphere into something more emotional. What do they love the most about being back together as a group? Their answer was not complicated. It was not full of strategy or grand statements. The answer was simple but felt very deep. Togetherness. For them, being back together means no longer feeling lonely. After going through various individual activities, being in the same room again creates an atmosphere that is lively, full of laughter, and full of energy like their early days. That liveliness is exactly what makes everything feel enjoyable again, because they are back in an environment filled with jokes, friendship, and closeness that cannot be replaced by anything. As the conversation continued, the members began talking about their habits in their group chat. It sounds simple, but it actually made many fans smile. They admitted they rarely send mirror selfies like many people often do. If someone sends a photo like that, but in that conversation, the members mentioned one name who quite often sends selfies or short videos to the others: Kim Taehyung. They said Taehyung sometimes sends simple videos when he just wakes up or simply to check in with members. Moments like that show that behind the glamorous global image, their relationship still feels like a normal friendship full of spontaneity. The topic then shifted to something more serious: the concept of a comeback. The members admitted that in their creative process, they often have different opinions. These differences are not surprising. In fact, they are part of the process that allows their work to grow. One chapter in their career. When discussing their favorite music videos, several titles immediately appeared in the conversation. Songs like On, Run, and Butterfly were mentioned as works that hold a special place in their hearts. These 3 songs are considered to represent different emotional phases in BTS's journey. However, continue to improve year after year. One member often mentioned in this discussion is Jungkook, who is known to have a wide vocal range and increasingly mature technique. A vocal character like this gives many be quiet. They feel more comfortable if there is sound around them, whether it is music, television, or conversation. Small things like this show the human side of BTS members that is often hidden behind camera flashes and concert stages. The conversation then touched on a rather interesting topic about hairstyles. Some members apparently have very simple reasons for keeping their hair long, not because of fashion trends or certain concepts, but because their families like it. Their parents often say that long hair suits them better. Because of that, some members choose to maintain that style. This shows that behind their lives as global superstars, family relationships still have a strong influence on their personal lives. When asked when they started working together on a new album, the members explained that the process began around July. Some members left earlier for the United States, while others followed a few weeks later. They began the creative process in the city of Los Angeles, one of the centers of the global music industry. They remember that period as a very enjoyable experience. The working atmosphere felt like a combination of vacation and creative adventure. Daytime was filled with recording sessions and concept discussions, while nighttime became a moment to share ideas and strengthen their bond as a team. Some members even said they would like to return there one day because the working atmosphere felt so enjoyable. One of the most interesting questions in conversation was a simple one about normal life. The members were asked to imagine what they would do if for 1 week the world did not recognize BTS. Their answers were very honest. One wanted to go to the movie theater without worrying about being recognized. Another wanted to visit a public bathhouse or go to an amusement park without bodyguards. Some even said they wanted to eat in a crowded restaurant without having to book a private room. Simple things like that may feel ordinary for many people, but for them they are very rare experiences. At the end of the conversation, the members talked about their dreams as musicians. One of them recalled that the desire to become a singer had appeared since elementary school. With family support, he began learning musical instruments such as a saxophone and slowly walked toward the world of music. Another interesting story is how Jungkook's decision to become a trainee was inspired after seeing Kim Taehyung, the leader of BTS, who is widely known for his intelligence and broad insight. That small moment eventually became the starting point of a journey that changed the history of global music. This casual conversation in March 2026 shows another side of BTS members. They are not only global stars with millions of fans around the world. They're also a group of friends who continue to grow together, share laughter, face differences of opinion, and build the same dream. Behind all their great achievements, BTS's greatest strength may actually lie in the friendship they have built since the beginning. And from this simple conversation, one thing becomes very clear. Their journey is far from finished, and the world is still waiting for the next step from BTS. And this is where everything becomes interesting, because sometimes in just 3 seconds, a casual conversation can turn into a global discussion. In March 2026, the world once again paid attention to the 7 men of BTS who for more than a decade have changed the face of the global music industry. There was no big stage, no spectacular concert. Only a simple conversation that revealed another side of them, not only as global superstars, but as friends who continue walking together through a long journey full of change. From jokes in their group chat to small stories about who sends the most selfies. And yes, the name Kim Taehyung appeared again. Everything shows that behind the world's spotlight, they remain human beings who laugh, joke, and take care of each other. Even stories about childhood dreams, inspiration from Kim Taehyung, and the extraordinary vocal journey of Jungkook show that the BTS journey is not only about music, but about friendship that survives through time. And maybe that is the reason the world keeps watching them. Because behind all those huge achievements, BTS's greatest strength is not only their songs or the records they break, but the bond that keeps them standing together until today. The question now is only one. If this is just a casual conversation in 2026, then what kind of big chapter are they preparing next for the world? Thank you for watching until the end, Taehyung lovers. If you like content like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and activate the bell notification so you don't miss the next interesting story on the Taehyung lovers channel around the world. And don't forget to make this video go viral so the world continues to see the kindness, sincerity, and extraordinary influence of Kim Taehyung. But if you don't like this content, that's okay. Feel free to skip it, because the Taehyung Lovers channel never forces anyone to watch. See you in the next story, because sometimes the biggest story begins with the simplest conversation.